This week?
We're doing good, real good.
I have to say I'm a fan of the pants. They look very comfortable.
Well, thank you very much. They are very comfortable. I've gotten a couple of comments from them too. So
there you go. Setting trends.
I picked right. I chose them wisely, if you will.
At this point, does it kind of feel you're crossing the names off the middleweight rankings one by one, and Marvin Vettori is just the next logical guy for you to meet in the cage?
Well, I feel like he was one of the last ones. So one of the last guys at the top of the division who I've gotten to the octagon with, and I felt like it was only a matter of time before we crossed paths. So I wouldn't say that I'm crossing names off. You know, that sounds a bit pretentious, if you know, but sure.
Is it a funny one where, because you guys are in the division and the top half of that division is so strongly held there, right? You guys are always going to be just neck and neck. Is it one of those ones where, oh, well, I've had to be watching this guy for basically his whole career, so I kind of know what to expect when we do fight?
To a certain degree, yes. But no, man, can't really go into any of these fights expecting anything, or you're going to be surprised. So I'm just going to be more open-minded and, just be more open-minded, prepared for anything that he brings. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's, I feel like a lot of people kind of just brand him as like, he's a grappler, he comes wrestle heavy because of the way he fought Adesanya, but then against Paulo Costa in this very building, he just went for a massive stand-up war. So do you kind of, like you just said, have to be ready for everything, but are you kind of in your mind thinking, well, I'm pretty dangerous on the feet, he's probably more likely to go this way, or are you thinking, well, maybe he wants to prove something to try and get that Izzy fight back, he'll maybe go this way? What are your sort of predictions almost?
I would say a general consensus is the guys are going to want to try to wrestle me unless they're just stand-up guys, you know. So, but who knows, you know. Like, again, I'm not going into this fight with any expectations except for me performing to the best of my ability and getting that finish. That's what I'm going for. So if he does want to grapple, it'll be to his detriment. Anybody who's ever tried to grapple me, if he's watched my fights, it's been to their detriment, you know. It hasn't been easy to hold me down. And it's going to be damn near impossible to get me down now because I feel like I've grown a lot in that area. And you may even see me take him down, to be honest.
I'm sure he'll love hearing that. He's a kind of a fiery character. What do you make of him as a personality? You know, I remember when he fought Israel, his press conference was wild. He seems like a guy who kind of switches pretty quickly. Do you make much of him as a personality?
He is who he is. You know, he's got all the confidence in the world in himself, and rightfully so. You know, he's put in a lot of work. He's been in, like you say, he's been in the top of the division for a long time. So, yeah. You know, I ran into him yesterday. It's a little minor small talk. I asked him how he was doing. He responded respectfully, and I shook his hand and, you know, expressed that it was definitely going to be a pleasure and an honor to get into the cage with one of the best in the division. And he sort of reciprocated, you know what I mean? So it's all respect from me, you know what I mean? I respect any man who's walking the same path that I'm walking, you know, walking a similar path that I'm walking. I'm no hater, you know what I mean? So I ain't got no hate towards the man. I don't have to be angry with him to go in there and do what I have to do to get that finish and put a hurting on him. So this is all business as far as that goes. But I don't wish nothing ill upon him, you know what I mean? So he is who he is, and we all have that, you know, God-given right to be who we want to be. And I don't see him doing anything that I would deem, you know, that will put him on the executioner's block, if you will. So, yeah, there it is.
You've mentioned the word finish twice now. He is a notoriously hard guy to finish. He's eaten crazy shots. Rob Whittaker was teeing off on him for a while. You know, Paulo Costa hit him with some big bombs. You know, he's not a guy who goes away easy. What is it about you that can sort of break the chin, if you want, of Marvin Vettori?
Well, I punch pretty hard, and I'm getting pretty good at making my fists connect to guys' chin. Not only my fists, but my shins, my feet, knees, and elbows. If I get them on the ground, it's definitely going to be some elbows coming down, if you will. So that's my goal. I don't go into these fights wanting to win a decision or outpoint somebody, look good on the scorecards. You know what I mean? I'm going there to incapacitate my opponents. That's it. You know what I mean? Either by knocking you out, which is, the more efficient, fastest path to victory, if you will. Submissions, you know what I mean? I got a couple of submissions on my record. It'll be nice to get my first submission in the octagon. So there, yeah, or I just batter his face in till his corner throws in the towel, or the doctor says, hey, you can't take anymore, or something. I just want to finish, you know what I mean? So that's all I go for, and especially considering the fact that he hasn't been finished, I'd love to be the first guy to break that cherry.
Cool. Two more quick ones from me. I feel like you're going to answer this question almost every time you fight again is, what are the stakes for this one? You want that rematch with Israel. He's shown an interest in Dricus du Plessis, or it's likely, if not him, going to be Rob in Sydney. You said your passport's ready to go down there. Do you think, you mentioned finish, if you get that finish, you can actually push your way past all these guys and be like, hey, I'm there and I'm ready?
Potentially, but what's been said has been said. They already said that's a contenders match. But I want to go in there and perform the best of my ability, and I know that I can open some eyes and drop some jaws, if you will, and maybe break a jaw, if you will, So that's the plan, man. Go in there and perform the best of my ability and show Dana, Mick, Hunter, Sean, whoever else needs to see that I'm ready for this second shot at the title, and not only just a shot at the title. I'm ready to take the title from the best from Israel.
Last one for me. How do you see that Rob Dricus fight going? I mean, I feel like Dricus is being written off by quite a large population in the MMA community. For you, do you think he has a shot?
I think anybody has a shot in this game, Dricus has been much kind of a buzzsaw in his last couple of fights. Rob is a very good tactician, though, you know what I mean? So I think that's why people would write him off. But who knows how that fight's going to go? Maybe he can take a shot and get a hold of Robert and then tire Robert out. And Robert slows down. Dricus doesn't slow down, as we see, So who knows how that fight's going to go? It's going to be a fun one to watch, that's for damn sure. It's always fun watching the Reaper do his thing, and Dricus has been exciting his last couple of fights too. Other than that, I'll just be watching as a fan and have that professional vested interest as well, So yeah.
Hey, Jared. I just wanted your thoughts on Israel getting his belt back at UFC 287 by knocking out Alex Pereira. Just what were your thoughts? Did you expect that? Just everything.
When watching fights, I try not to go into any of these fights with any expectations. I hold true to the fact that I've said, hold true to my statement that these fights can go anyway. You know what I mean? All of us here at the top of the division have a very good chance of getting the win. So So yes, I was watching it. I was very entertained by it. It was a little dicey in there. It looked kind of like the end of the first fight and the end of the first round of the first fight. So a lot of correlations going on there. And the first time Alex got it done in the fifth. This time Israel got it done in the second. Was it the second? Yeah, the second round. And it was like a similar scenario, and it was like, he was had his back against the fence, doing his thing, moving, and hit him with that counter, and then followed up with some more good shots, finished the job and got his belt back. So we all love watching those moments of triumph in the octagon, so no different here. It was definitely exciting to watch and entertaining to watch, and good for him.
I also want your thoughts on Paulo Costa, Sean Strickland, 2 top 7 middleweights. They're fighting unranked Russians in their next fight. Do you think what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's warranted? Do you think it's the UFC's doing it to bring more blood into the division? What's up?
That's what I think. I think they're trying to build up the middleweight division. They have some good prospects. The top 5, top 10 have knocked down all the coming prospects, so UFC needs some new prospects. So that's definitely I feel like that's what they're trying to do. I could be wrong. I'm not in the office talking to these guys, making these decisions. So but that's what it looks like from the outside, you know.
And finally, for me, MMA Lab, bunch of very, very bright prospects. Your boy Abdul Kamara. I just wanted to know, like, what's the vibe in there, and if there's any fighters that you would like to spotlight that haven't got it yet.
Well, one of our monikers is 1% every day, and the lab has been open since 2007. So you count those number of days, that's the number of percents we've been getting good. So, yeah, the energy in there is incredible, you know. I've told them, and I'll say it here on the microphone, that I feel like I've had the best camp since moving down to Phoenix, this camp right here. And I attribute that to my teammates, you know what I mean, my coaches, my condition, all the conditioning that my teammates have got me in, Jared, Al, all those guys, you know, they get me prepared for these fights, 5-round fights, main events, the energy that we bring in there, every day we work, the program in itself, you know what I mean, is going to create champions. So we got a bunch of guys coming up. You mentioned Abdul already. I cornered him in his last fight. I'll probably be cornering him in his next fight. You know, Eric McConaughey, I cornered him in his last fight, so he's cornering me in this fight. And we've got a couple more big guys in there. Alec, who cornered Eric Anders in his last fight, you know. Those are just the guys who are my size, you know what I mean? And when I first got there, I was one of the biggest guys there. All the little guys I was looking at, you know what I'm saying, I was training with. So you guys just saw the Maniac, Marcus McGee, make his debut and do his thing in there. You mentioned Abdul, you know what I mean? And Ho is doing his thing. We got a few guys in other divisions, Bryce Meredith, Mike Hamill, who fights this weekend. Who else? I wish I could just name them all, man, but the whole team, the MMA Lab is growing big time, you know what I mean? Mario, I can't forget him. He's one of the leaders in there who I look up to, and who I look to, and Kyler is doing his thing, you know what I mean? I get good rounds with him. Talon is in there. I get good rounds with him. Caleb, who gave me some good rounds this go around. Buzzsaw Besnick is doing his thing. We're all growing big time, you know, and I've grown too. Even though Coach says this a lot, you know, when you get to the top, growth is incremental at best, you know. But this camp, like I said, I feel like I've grown a lot, you know what I mean? So in many different aspects of mixed martial arts. So I'm excited to show up and show out and let the world know that the lab is still getting better. If you didn't think we was good when Benson made his reign, if you knew we was good when Benson made his reign, we've only kept getting better. So y'all better watch out there.
Thank you, Jared.
You got me? Oh, perfect. I want to talk about your preparation a little bit in this camp. As you know, Vettori is a very well-rounded fighter, and just like you talked about watching the film and how you can grapple with the best of him, you can strike with the best of him. How have you prepared differently for him rather than an Adesanya or a Strickland?
I wouldn't say I prepared differently. I prepare for the best, and I prepare to make myself better, you know what I mean? Only time I start changing things up is when we get a name and we start implementing, hey, this is what we think can work against this guy. But nothing's changed. I've only made, just been more, consistent in my training. I've grown. That's the only difference. I've gotten better. You know, my grappling is much better. My striking is much better. My conditioning, my physique is going to definitely be better. You guys will see that when we come time to take these clothes off and flex in front of the cameras. So I'm just better, you know what I mean? It's nothing different, just better. You know, we're already doing the right things. So ain't no point in changing that. You know what I mean? If you're on the right path and you change directions, you're going to make yourself harder to get to the goal, right? So, and there are no shortcuts in this game. So we show up, we work hard, and come fight night, we're going to show out.
Jared, over here. You expressed your thoughts on Israel's triumph over Alex Pereira at 287, but were you a bit disappointed Pereira did not retain his title as he hasn't faced guys like you and Vettori yet?
No. I can't say that I was disappointed, you know. I was happy when he won the title, happy for him, you know what I mean? Congratulations to the man. And this is a fight game. One person's going to win, one person's going to lose. So I'm not that invested in who I fight, you know what I mean? Again, Rogan said it at the end of the weigh-ins when I fought Israel, saying that he's the final challenge. And I said, no, he's not the final challenge. I'm the final challenge. I'm only working on myself. That's the only reason why I'm doing this, so I can be a better me. Not to fight any of these guys and be better than them. They don't reside in here. They don't reside there. When I look inside, that's the challenge that I'm trying to overcome right there every day. They don't go home with me. They don't, you know what I mean? They're not the ones saying, wouldn't you rather play the video game than go to the gym or anything like that? You know what I'm saying? These are things that I have inside of myself. They're not the ones saying, oh, you're tired, you should just quit, you know what I mean? Those are the voices that you have inside of yourself. So that's the challenge, you know what I mean? Not them, it's me. So the idea of fighting him would have been exciting, you know what I mean? I'm here to fight whoever, but I'm here to fight the best. So he is one of the best, and the potential is still there. He's still in the UFC. I fought at light heavyweight before. I get the title at middleweight. He gets the title at light heavyweight. Maybe we'll do the double champ thing. That seems to be the popular thing that everybody's doing, and that would definitely help solidify my name in history. So yeah.
And assuming Israel remains champ and things go well for you this weekend, how would you approach a fight with Israel differently rather than the first time?
Better. You know what I mean? When we fought Israel the first time, we started working on things, and I've just kept developing it. So it's been a year now in development. Things that I've ingrained in myself, not just new things that, oh, we should try this. Nothing like that. We got to do this better. We have to do that to make this happen. We have to do all these A, B, C through Z to make this happen, and continue to work on those things. So better.